This is a talk about spiral dynamics and the color teal. This is Wake Up with a Spiral Dynamics video about teal. I got two questions recently. Are teal and turquoise the same color? And is turquoise the last color? The answer to both of these questions is no. The first tier has 6 colors: beige, purple, red, blue, orange and green. And the second tier has 6 colors: yellow, turquoise, coral, teal, and 2 that are not named and not known. The only second tier color that has manifested socially, collectively, globally is yellow. And then there are some individuals who are in turquoise, coral or teal. The trouble is to find people who are in these colors and also to get them to speak about it in intelligible terms. Many things that have been attributed to turquoise are in fact teal. Turquoise is already a whole different game. And from a first tier perspective, especially a green perspective, turquoise seems like awakened or enlightened, but you don't have to be awake or enlightened to be in turquoise. Although awakening could very well happen when you are in turquoise centered. Same goes for coral. Once you reach coral, it's very likely that you wake up. But to get to teal, you have to be awake already. Teal is too different. In teal you are immersed and it's natural and happens all the time what is starting to happen in yellow, turquoise and coral. All these things that sometimes are clear and sometimes you can feel in turquoise and coral, you can feel all the time in teal. From teal on there are no more questions. Everything is very simple. That is why also if you talk to a person centered in teal, the conversations are either very repetitive or very short. Yeah, one of my teachers always said, truth is. There's actually nothing more to be said. Yeah, that's teal. Teal has something to do with completion. And again, intuition, you already develop intuition or learn how to use intuition in turquoise and coral, but then in teal it's natural. It's really non-dual. In turquoise and coral you still quarrel a little bit with duality. You know it's not true, but you're still subject to it. Although you is probably the wrong word. So the sense of self is diminishing in yellow and more in turquoise and totally in coral. And then once you reach teal, or once teal happens, there is very little self left. So this thing that sometimes has been termed as ever-present knower or ever-present observer or ever-knowing presence or whatever, that's what's really happening all the time in teal. Non-action is the normal day-to-day mode you're in. All is well. This all is well feeling already starts in turquoise and coral, but then in teal it's for sure. So there are no more worries. Also the age-old question of determinism and free will. Yeah? That's something that really bothers you in teal and coral. Is there free will or not? It seems there's not. But in teal, you know what it is. All these paradoxons that fill our lives, is it this way or that way, all this falls away because those are dual problems. It's a kind of stepping out of the world, or stopping the world, waking up from the world. There is the old Plato cave metaphor. Sleeping means you sit in the cave, look at the wall, and you think the reflections that are projected onto the wall in front of you are reality. This is how all first tier colors view the world. In the second tier, you start suspecting that this is not the case, and you look around you and realize that you're sitting in a theater and that there's something next to you and behind you. Once you wake up in turquoise or coral, you are able to get up, to stand up, turn around and explore the cave and see where the reflections behind you are coming from, that everyone is taking for reality and truth. But you're still in the cave and you're stuck with the laws of the cave. To step out of the cave and see that there is much more light outside, blinding sunlight in comparison to the quite dim firelight in the cave. Stepping outside of the cave is teal. Or at least to be able to step outside. You might not stay outside. This is probably what is reserved to the two unnamed colors. So in teal, you really are in the flow. Or you start to be the flow. You understand the laws of the universe. Yeah, teal is the second tier color of blue. All colors repeat themselves all the time, also in different tiers. So yellow is the beige of the second tier, turquoise is the purple of the second tier, coral is the red of the second tier, and teal is the blue of the second tier. What is blue? Blue is about laws and religion, but laws and religion of mankind. Well, teal is the laws and religion in parentheses of the world, not pre-interpreted by the human mind and personality. So really start to grasp what the world is like, what is really going on. This has already been prepared by yellow, turquoise and coral, but then in teal it's really there. Yeah, yellow is survival in a new world. Turquoise is basically you start to use intuition instead of your mind, and you look for others of your same color. A dream of a spiritual community, a true spiritual community. Coral is purification. You purified the last vestiges of ego dominance are burned away. You still have an ego, but it's not so important anymore. It's definitely not sitting in the driver's seat anymore. And then, if waking up happens in turquoise or coral, it's possible to experience teal. And teal, like turquoise and coral, are experiences that sometimes happens before as well. Yeah, we're not always in one color. We can fluctuate between colors. We can move, and that's what we do. And sometimes we have teal experiences, very short. This is also what we usually call mystical experiences. Yeah, experiences of enlightenment, how Green calls it. But it's not enlightenment. It's a mystical experience. It's experience that all is one and all is well. But in teal, you will have this a lot. It may be with a feeling of bliss and joy, and it may not be. Listen to Tony Parsons. What he says, that sounds very teal. I repeat again that no color is better than another. It's an onion model, really. It's not an upward spiral or a ladder. It's an onion model. So you need every color for all the other colors to be complete. It's about completion, to integrate several aspects of humanness, what it means to be a human being in all different aspects and colors. So most views on beige and purple, for example, are pretty racist and colonialist and arrogant. I will make a few videos about the first tier colors as well. You need beige and purple. Without them, no life is possible. In the second tier colors, they're new perspectives of the first tier colors. So while blue is dependent on belief and opinion and laws and needs to make them, blue needs to make laws and religions and opinions and beliefs to bring order into society. But in teal, order in society is not such a topic anymore. It's the fascination of how the universe works. And not in theory, but in practice. That is always the most important part. That's the big difference between the first tier and the second tier colors. Apart from survival, much in the first tier colors is theory. While in the second tier colors, you still have the survival theme, of course, but death doesn't sound so scary anymore, and you're mainly concerned with how the world works. And experience that. It's about experience, always experience. Theories are not very interesting anymore, except in communication. Once you communicate with other human beings, you need some kind of terminology. Or not. You can just say truth is and that's it, but then you will get very lonely. Which probably also you don't care about anymore, but it's still less fun. One of the great things about spiral dynamics is this alternating rhythm of inwards and outwards, of introverted, extroverted, of one and of many. Yeah? Of being with yourself, exploring yourself, and then exploring community. Usually some form of community is happening, or starts to happen by itself if there's a teal person around, because it's just too weird what they're saying. There must be something to it. And again, the difference between turquoise and teal: turquoise is still trying to manifest something, while teal is not. Manifestation of things just happen or don't happen. It's beingness. Pure experience without interpretation. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And see you soon with a few first tier color videos.